Anxiety is a terrible thing to have to live with. And while some cases of anxiety have deep-rooted emotional origins that require professional intervention, many of them don't. And in fact, in most cases, you can eliminate anxiety yourself if you know how to do it. Of course, in the natural realm of healing, we always begin by eliminating the causes or potential causes. And there are certain common causes of anxiety that a lot of people overlook. So before I talk about the things that can alleviate anxiety and also depression, because depression and anxiety quite often go hand in hand, I want to talk about some of the very common causes of anxiety. And as it turns out, if you want to live a long and healthy life, these are all things that you should avoid anyway, and things that I have preached against in past videos. Let's begin with sugar. One of the causes of anxiety and depression are sugar spikes and drops. Everyone knows that happens, and when you have that, of course, there are multiple things that happen with your physiology, with your hormonal system, but one of the main things is the blood sugar levels drop, and sugar causes that with most people. So be careful of sugar for 1,000 other reasons too. When I talk about sugar, I'm not talking about eating fruit. Fruit is healthy. I'm talking about sugar, sucrose or table sugar. I'm talking about high fructose corn syrup. I'm talking about agave nectar, which is a total fraud. I'm talking about artificial sweeteners as well, because according to research I have read, artificial sweeteners have been tied to anxiety and depression, along with quite a few other diseases. You should avoid caffeinated beverages. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I'm an enemy of caffeine. And in regards to anxiety, coffee is full of chemicals, pesticides and other chemicals, but that's up to you. But we're just talking about anxiety right now. So in terms of anxiety, I would suggest you eliminate coffee, tea, energy drinks, anything that contains caffeine. Fruits should be eaten, not drunk. So fruit juices and even fruit smoothies should be avoided for general reasons, not just for anxiety. Gluten. Gluten is a common cause of anxiety, especially in people who are more sensitive to gluten. Trans fats. Yes, trans fats have been linked to anxiety and depression. Sleep deprivation. Sleep is important. Too many people think, well, I'll catch up on the weekend. You can't catch up on your sleep. You have to sleep well every night if you want to live a long and healthy life. Dehydration is another thing that has been linked to depression. Now, when you think dehydration, we're not talking about the person who is lost in the desert and hasn't had any water for a week. I'm talking about people who simply don't drink enough water. And don't count on your thirst mechanism to tell you when you need water, because that doesn't always work, especially as we grow older. Sometimes the thirst mechanism just grows weaker, and sometimes it goes away completely. There are elderly people who die from dehydration. They didn't know that all they needed was to drink some water. And when I talk about hydrating, I'm not talking about some sports drink or some other beverage with sugar or caffeine or chemicals or chemical sweeteners. I'm talking about what the human body was designed to drink. What is that? Everybody knows. Water, and lots of it. If you suffer from anxiety and or depression, one of the things you have to eliminate from your life is negativity. Now, this is negativity that comes from without and from within. Think about what your thoughts are. Thinking about what you're doing. Sometimes people don't have enough time to go out and say, volunteer, do some volunteer work. But if you do, serving your fellow human beings is one of the surest ways to eliminate anxiety and depression, to bring joy and positivity into your life. If you spend a lot of time in front of a screen, I don't care if it's your phone or your television or computer, that can cause depression and anxiety, especially certain things you may be watching. I try to avoid watching the news, especially at night. I stay informed. I have ways of getting information, but there's not very much positivity on the news. And one thing I will not do is put that into my brain before I go to bed. Another thing that can be very beneficial for a lot of people, and this will sound strange to some of you, but some of you will think, yeah, that's true in my case, is to be wrapped up. It's like being swaddled like a baby, especially if it's cold outside or indoors. And I found something that is really cool, and I want to share it with you. Hear me out, because I'm going to talk about a special kind of blanket, but it's not like any blanket you've ever seen. It has a pouch that you put your feet in, and it keeps your feet warm and covered. And by the way, it's huge. Most blankets, or a lot of blankets anyway, are too short, especially for tall people. I've had trouble with blankets in the past. My feet hang out, or they don't come up over my shoulders if I want my feet to be covered. This thing has a pouch. Your feet will never hang out. And it also is big, it's very thick, it's very warm, it wraps around you, it enfolds you, and it has a place for your fingers to come out and your thumb to come out, so you can work on a keyboard or hold a cup of warm herbal tea. It's called the Cozy Throw. And I was contacted by the owner of this company because I talked about this in another video, and she agreed that if anyone wants to get one who is watched one of my videos, they can use my name, go on the website, cozyzzz.com, and they will get 20% off. Again, it's called the Cozy Throw. There are also some herbs that are beneficial for anxiety. Ashwagandha is one of my favorites. Rhodiola, L-theanine, bacopa, lemon balm. There's a lot of research behind these herbs in regards to anxiety and in many cases depression. And there are a lot of essential oils that are also beneficial. Lavender would be my first pick. Bergamot, valerian, clary sage, lemon balm. And I forgot to mention, if you're interested in the Cozy Throw, there's a link on the link tree on my bio here on TikTok that will take you to the website.